Never thought I'd be so far from home. Never thought our love could grow so cold. Never thought we had to run through burning fire. Never thought I had to miss you and I.
Good morning, good evening and good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back. If you watched my last video, at the end of it I told you I have a visitor this week, and I do. My dad is here, visiting from Croatia, and that got me thinking about my move here actually, which happened, it will be exactly 5 years ago in November. So I started to think about that a little bit and started googling, which is sometimes good, sometimes not, but yeah. I'm gonna talk today about some things you should consider and know and research before you move to Ireland. So let's get started. Are you feeling nervous about moving to Ireland? There's no better time than now to begin exploring and organizing longer travels or a major move to your favorite place. You'll have a lot of questions as part of your thrill and relocating to a new city, but the most interesting part about moving to a new country or city is of course meeting new people and exploring new places. However, there's a lot of different things you'll need to be aware of when moving to Ireland, and moving to Ireland in particular may be one of the most exciting and or most nervous experiences of your life. If you are relocating to Ireland for a job, education or any other reason, you should definitely do some research before making the move. So, here are 5 important things to know before moving to Ireland in 2023. Housing in Ireland. Currently a hot topic here for the last, I would say, few years actually. But yeah, housing in Ireland. Whether you're moving here for a year or for forever or for, doesn't matter for what reason, for education, work, you will of course need housing. Most people opt for renting because of the housing crisis here. Now I have a whole video up where I talk about the Irish housing crisis, so I will link that below and in the description. That's the same thing, but yeah, I will link it so you can check that for more detailed explanation. But yeah, finding accommodation in Ireland is currently, I would say, the biggest problem when moving here. Now, regarding prices, if you manage to find accommodation, which some people say there's plenty of it, but there's not, trust me. But yeah, prices are of course depend on the location when you choose to live. Like, not surprisingly, Dublin is much more expensive than some other towns which are smaller, and those smaller towns are more expensive than the rural areas. So yeah, it will depend on that. Accommodation is a problem, without a doubt. So you should really be careful about expectations you have when moving here. I know people who got stuck staying in a hostel for months, and I don't mean 1 or 2, like for 6 months. I couldn't do that, that's not for me, but yeah, just be very, very careful about accommodation. Over the years, Ireland has developed an effective healthcare system. Some would say, some would say not really. But in Ireland there are 2 basic systems in place. You can access free medical care if you have a medical card, or you can of course, again, pay. Medical card is only available for those who have resided in Ireland for at least 1 year and have some modest or average income, if I'm not mistaken. If you haven't seen a doctor in Ireland previously at all, you will be charged about 100 euros for an emergency visit, and the cost for GP consultation is around 60 euros. To gain access to a wider range of health services, all you have to do is prove to the HSE that you are living in Ireland. If I got any of this wrong, feel free, and it's desirable if you correct me in the comments section, because that will help everyone. All of the thousands of you watching of this. 600 on the last videos, but yeah, you never know. Yeah, so correct me please. Now, next topic, transportation. I'll talk about my personal experience in Galway, because I don't know about Dublin and stuff like that, but yeah, in Galway the main vehicle you use is bus here, and they're quite good, quite correct, quite on time, quite cheap actually. In fact, when we're talking about that, you can use something called Leap card, which is actually used in the whole country, I think. I know they use them in Dublin too. And that gets you around much cheaper than usually, especially if you top them up and you, well, not especially, but yeah, you use a Leap card and then it's 130 for a ride, and I believe If you use cash to pay with the driver, it's almost double, it's 240. Yeah, now if you live somewhere outside of the big towns, let's say rural areas, you will depend on some other buses, and that can be a problem if the weather is bad or better. Is that a word? Better than this? Worse, not better, worse than it is now, and it's raining now. This is normal. But yeah, that can be a problem. So you should probably have a car if you live somewhere outside of I don't know, cities, towns. I never know what's the difference between a city and a town. Okay, that's not the topic. Focus. I am actually hiding under a tree now. Yeah, it's raining more than it did 10 minutes ago. Yeah, let's talk about food now. Food in Ireland, traditional ones. Stews, cabbage, and bacon and potatoes. They don't do anything without potatoes here. Maybe I'll make a video one time about the Great Famine and the potatoes in Ireland, because that's a subject to itself, by itself. Yeah, English language. But yeah, food is influenced by Western cuisine. Is that a fancy word? Cuisine. But yeah, they, compared to Croatia, don't have as much variety, I would say. But it's nice. I like it. It's not very spicy. It's not very bland. It's just average, I would say. If you like stews, I like seafood chowder. I have it every weekend in town. Every Saturday I go to town. I have a seafood chowder and Guinness. And Guinness brings me to pubs, because pubs in Ireland are the biggest, I would say, socializing places which Irish people use. Wow, what a sentence. You know what I mean. So yeah, go to a pub, have a good crack, have a pint of Guinness, have some food, fish and chips. Oh, fish and chips are a good one too. But yeah, that's more or less Irish food. I can't think of anything extra special or extra unique that they do that other nations don't do. But it's good enough if you ask me. I love food a lot, I love cooking, and I think it's good. There are plenty of job opportunities due to a developing economy and a large number of global corporations, with businesses like Google, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn and other big businesses relocating their European headquarters to Ireland. The country now has a strong digital industry, so anyone can find more than enough job opportunities in tech, if that's what you're into. There are other larger companies like Pfizer, Ryanair or Primark, which employ non-EU citizens as well. Non-EU citizens will have to apply for a work permit in Ireland. That can be a bit of a hassle, a bit of complicated. I think it depends on a country you're coming from. I have a friend from India who did have a lot of problems. Sometimes it goes easily, sometimes it doesn't. Now, you can find a job same as in, I think, every other countries. There's websites like Indeed, Jobs.ie, etc., etc., Facebook groups. I actually have a whole video, one of my oldest videos, I think, about finding a job in Ireland. So I'll link that below too. You can watch that if you're interested. But yeah, I don't think it's a problem. If you're not too picky, especially for your first job, to get a PPS number and stuff like that, it's really not that hard in my opinion. But lately I've heard some stories, and one of you actually reached out to me about getting a job. He's having troubles with that in Dublin, which I think it's unusual, but obviously it can happen. If you're watching, I hope you got a job by now. I think that sums up what I wanted to talk about when you're moving to Ireland. So if you like this, press the like button. If you didn't, press the dislike one. If you loved it, press the subscribe button. And I will see you next week.